Good morning, everyone. Good evening and good afternoon to viewers from all walks of life. This is Denzomus, and you are welcome to the channel of truth, enlightenment, freedom, and the channel of breaking empathy free. If you are new on this channel, I talk about narcissism and narcissistic abuse. I talk about spirituality, and I talk about personal and self-development. And if any of that resonates with you, I invite you guys to join us, give us a like, share this video with friends, and you may subscribe if you haven't already. And for those that have always been with us, you are welcome back, and I thank you for your love and support. I would like to talk about the Black Sheep Awakening and the reason why your family and your closest circles don't actually believe you. This will be something that will happen when you go through an awakening. Because you see, the black sheep, one of the things they do, they will start to move different, They will change their movements, they will change their character, because finally they know what the problem is, who the problem has been this entire time. And they will not usually fall for the old tricks and patterns. Now, you have to know something, ladies and gentlemen. The narcissistic parent is a very manipulative individual. So in the family members, there are some members who will not have the same amount of abuse like you've been doing, like you've done, like you had, okay? So things will usually be different for other family members. There will be some family members who will always have they call it the permission to exist, okay? So they allow them to exist. There will be some other family like the golden child, for example, and these are the flying monkeys, okay? They will continue to receive the benefits, the favors, the validation from the narcissistic parent. So in their eyes, they don't see any problem with the unit. They don't see the wrongs of the narcissistic parent because they have always been nice to them. Every now and then, it may not have happened all the time, but every now and then, the narcissistic parent has been very lenient. So they never received the punishments from the parent. Because there was always a scapegoat, of course, in the family. There was a scapegoat, so there was always somebody to blame or somebody to punish or somebody to abuse. And the other family members, actually, some of them have usually kept on living their lives as normal, So they don't know anything about this abuse. They don't see it. And even if they see it, they're not willing to sacrifice themselves and put themselves at the front line. So they're not willing to participate. So it's the reason why you see, when you wake up as a black sheep of the family, because I've told you guys, the black sheep, they are the very first ones to wake up in the unit, in the entire unit. They're the first ones to wake up, and they're the first ones to see the dysfunction for what it is. Now, the narcissistic parent has got a tendency of covering their tracks. So normally when this abuse is happening against the black sheep, it is happening behind closed doors, okay? So the narcissistic parent is clever. They will not usually do a lot of funny things or weird things when everybody is around. They will wait everybody to leave, when nobody is around, when nobody is watching, when nobody is listening, and they are going to do those things, very abusive things, to the black sheep, who is also the scapegoat of the family. And so many family members will not see what that narcissistic parent will do. I remember, for example, when the narcissistic parent, in my case, when the mask slipped, okay, when that moment happened of the mask slip, it was just between me and the narcissistic parent, okay? So this was an interaction which was directly between me and the narcissistic parent. So it did not really matter what I had to say. I knew that they will not get it, and they will not really understand what that person has really done. Because the very first thing what they do, for example, those narcissistic parents, when you awaken and you start to stand for the truth, to stand in your truth and to stand for, to seek justice and to stand for what is right, the narcissistic parent will be the very first one to chair the meetings with other family members, and they will be the very first ones to, try to make you like you are the one who was the problem, you are the one who did something, and they will not usually talk about what they have done. So the reason as to why you're trying to explain to these guys, you're telling them, listen guys, there is something wrong, there is something wrong, there's something you have seen, there's something you have discovered, there's something that you know, and many of them do not understand where you're coming from. That is because the narcissistic parent has already smeared your name. I've told you guys many times in my videos, at the end of every narcissistic encounter or relationship or entanglement, there has got to be a smear campaign. So when you wake up, you best believe, as a black sheep of the family, there is going to be a smear campaign on your name, okay? Your name is going to be put on the table and you're going to be discussed in so many different ways, and usually they are very dirty things. So they are going to talk a lot of crap about you, the problem, you are the trouble, you're the one who doesn't listen, you're the one who is trying to destabilize the situation. So they all have got to go and take the side of the narcissistic parent, because they don't want to hear anything that you have to say, because they believe on a very deep level that something is coming up. It's like the truth is coming out, and they can feel this, that the truth is coming out, and most of them are not even willing to listen to that truth, even to acknowledge it or even understand it or understand it, okay? So don't be surprised as a black sheep when you find yourself isolated from the entire unit. That is because the whole unit actually has ganged up and they're all one team, okay? So all the flying monkeys, the enablers, the golden child, all of them are going to gang up against you. They're going to all of them stand with the narcissistic parent, because that person has got to be innocent at every cost. So in their eyes, they have not done anything wrong. Everything is okay. They haven't done anything. It's you who has been causing the problem. It's you who is trying to cause a lot of chaos, the disruption and everything. And everybody is against you at that point. So no matter what you're trying to say, no matter what you're trying to do, no matter how much you try to explain, nobody's listening. Even if they understand you, they are not still going to stand with you, because remember that you're dealing with the dysfunction. This thing has been happening for so many years. It is very deep within people's heads, and they cannot see anything otherwise, okay? So you will always forever be the scapegoat of that unit, whether you have left the unit or not, okay? So they do not believe you. Reason being that the narcissistic parent has got a duty to protect their image at every cost, okay? So they don't want you to open these people's eyes. They don't want you to tell them the truth, because the truth is most likely going to open their eyes, and they are going to also be able to see the narcissistic parent for who they are. And most of the cases, the narcissistic parent is not ready to sacrifice their image because of you. So they have to put somebody to, they have to be an object somewhere to take all this crap and to take all this nonsense. So there's got to be a scapegoat. So you will always be the problem, okay? So they have already, over the years, been covering their tracks. Anytime there was something going on against you, as a black sheep of the family, and the narcissistic parents know that they have done something terrible to you, they have usually covered their tracks. There's been an excuse, okay? If it is something they have done against you, and maybe somebody asked a question, somebody in the family, within the unit, has asked a question, why did you do this, or why did you behave a certain way, or why did you do this to so and so? They have always learned a way of covering, because remember that these are master manipulators. They call them master manipulators for a reason. They will manipulate the whole situation to look like they don't have any problem, So you best believe, even at the point of your awakening, that nobody sees that there's a problem with this person, with this individual. So nobody is listening. Nobody can see the problem, okay? You are the only one who sees the problem because you have been always the one at the front line. So you will not have to explain anything that they will understand. Most of the cases, in worst case scenarios, this is the reason why I've told you that usually it is actually safer for you as a black sheep of the family. When you have had this awakening, you better start walking, okay? So you run, get away from there. Get out of the unit and let them deal with their own crap, okay? They are going to figure it out at some point. Because you see, the truth will always come out to the surface. Doesn't matter how long it takes. It doesn't matter who tries to do what. Always something is going to happen and the truth is going to come out to the surface. Even if they may not acknowledge that truth or try even to see it for what it is going to come out to the surface. They will always have it in the back of their minds or their heads that there is something wrong in the unit. Even if they will not speak about it or they will not talk about it, because not everybody has got the same guts like you do, okay? Not everybody has got the guts to take the narcissistic parent head on and hold them accountable for their actions or for their behavior. And not everybody in that unit has got the guts to walk away from abuse. So they are not listening, reason being that the abuse has been happening sometimes behind closed doors, okay? The things that the narcissistic parent has been doing to you, they have always been covering their tracks. So they always knew from day one that you've always been the problem. So whenever you was being punished, the narcissistic parent had to find some kind of a defense on, okay? To say that, okay, so I punished this particular individual because I told them to do something, they didn't do it, or I told them to go somewhere, they didn't go. So they have always been covering their tracks. So nobody has actually been really seeing what the abuse really looks like. The only way they're going to be able to see that abuse for what it is when you walk away, The moment that black sheep walks out of that unit, that is when a lot of people are going to start to see the problems. I've been confronted as well back in the days when I was leaving the unit by some siblings. And they finally figured out that there was a problem with the unit, okay? They did not ask me to explain more because I'm the one who had all the details, but they did not actually come around and try to ask me to explain what the problem was, because even some of them were part of the problem, okay? They were enablers, there was flying monkeys, they were the ones who was, always bring up the information to the narcissistic parent. So they knew and they could see it, that there was a problem in the unit. They acknowledged it when I left the unit. They asked me that there's a problem. They see something like there's a problem, but they would actually not come around and sit down with me and ask me to explain more of what the problem exactly was, okay? So they're not with you. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They're not with you. They're not going to stand with you. They will not defend you. You will forever be the problem, because everybody has got to stay on the safe side. Nobody wants to face the narcissistic parent for whatever it is going on in that unit. So nobody wants to face them head on, okay? So they always have to have somebody that they can put the shame or the blame, the abuse and everything. There's got to be somebody on the side, the scapegoat has always got to be there for them to be able to survive the wrath of that narcissistic parent at the top. So if you're a person who has awakened, my advice would be, especially the black sheep, my advice would be, don't try too much to explain, okay? Because the more you explain, the more confused they are going to get. The more confused they are going to get. The more confused they get is the more dangerous it is going to be for you. If everybody is looking at you as the problem, you might actually sometimes get hurt. If you don't get hurt emotionally, you might get hurt physically, okay? They may do it physically. I know some parents, narcissistic parents, who have gone to the extent of performing witchcraft on their own children. We guys already know that these people, they are associated with witchcraft. They can go ahead and even do some kind of witchcraft or whatever, black magic and spell work on their own children, okay? So do not explain. The only thing you can do for yourself is to simply walk away. I cannot emphasize this enough, ladies and gentlemen. In my videos, I've told you, anytime when you see something is not going right, you know what it is. You can see it for what it is. You always have got to walk away and let them deal with their own problems. When the time comes, maybe they will see the truth. Maybe they may want to reach out to you, or maybe they may want to come around and ask you a couple of questions. But that is not your business to fix. You have been fixing this entire family your entire life. It is time for you to go out there and know that you have left a very dangerous situation behind. It has got nothing to do with you. You did not create this dysfunction. This dysfunction has been feeding off of family members for a very long period of time. It has been passed on from generations. You have nothing to do with it. You have seen it. Get out there. Leave the unit. There will be pain. You will mourn. You will go through a very lengthy healing process, but eventually you will get to exactly where you want to be, okay? So you guys know that I do love and appreciate your support. Let us know if this thing has happened to you, if you're the person that I'm talking about. You are trying to explain to them, you're trying to show them what the truth is. They couldn't see the truth. They will never see it, okay? They've been brainwashed. A lot of them, they're not standing with you. They're standing with the parent. They have nothing to do with you. No matter how much you speak, they're not listening, okay? It is not your business to explain to them things that they do not understand. So drop us a comment in the section below and let us know what you think. You guys know that I do love and appreciate your support. You can always book a session with me if you want to. You may donate or support my channel if you want to. Everything you need, you will find it in the description below. And until then, I'll catch you guys in my next one. Desmo signing out. Much love and blessings. Peace.